Tributes are pouring in for Ann Presley. The Little Rock TV anchorwoman died over the weekend. She was found brutally beaten in her home last Monday, and police say they still have no suspects. Ann Presley's parents were by her bedside in her final moments and said in a statement that their hearts are broken. Her father had talked to reporters just one day earlier.
This was an incredibly heinous crime, and in my opinion, there are other people who may be at risk.
Last Monday, Presley was found by her mother, bloodied and beaten. Police do not believe she was targeted because of her on-air job, but they have yet to name a suspect in what is now a murder investigation. Joining us from Little Rock is Ann's best friend, Melissa Dunbar-Gates. Good morning, Melissa.
Good morning, Julie.
We are so sorry for your loss. You work for the CBS station in Little Rock, and she worked for the ABC station. You were competitors who became best friends. How did that happen?
That's exactly right. It was just by our personalities. We ended up, well, I knew her, you know, seeing her out on other stories, but we ended up covering a trial together, an 8-week trial, actually a couple of years ago, and we sat side by side for 8 weeks. And I mean, you just could not become the best of friends with Ann if you sat next to her for 8 weeks, if anyone sat next to her for 8 weeks. And then during that trial, I got engaged to be married, and you'll see some of the pictures here. She actually took off running, helping plan my wedding, and was very involved in the wedding itself. And so we've just been attached at the hip for about the last 2.5 years.
It sounds like she brought a lot of joy to your life. What kind of person was Ann, and how will you remember her?
My favorite example of who Ann is it didn't matter where we were at Target or Walgreens or a restaurant or anywhere, the clerk that was helping us, if it was a clerk in a bad mood, she sought to make that person's day better, and she sought to say really nice things to that person. And I promised Ann that I would carry that on about her, because I've noticed, even as I go to places or restaurants, that I try to act the way Ann would act, and it's amazing how you can make somebody's day by just saying the simple things that Ann would have said. So I'm going to carry that on for her. I promise that to her.
Along with her parents, you were with Ann when she died. Can you talk about that time and what you said to her?
Ann was surrounded by her family and her closest of friends. It was just, you know, kind of it just brought us some peace, because Ann had the strongest of faiths, and we knew that she was going to heaven. And I told her that because of all the prayer vigils that were held around the world for her last week, that so many people prayed for the very first time, thinking of her and in her honor. And I told her that because of her strong faith, people will continue to pray, and people will continue to come to faiths like hers.
Police are saying that they have no suspects right now. What do you think happened? Was Melissa, pardon me, Melissa, was Ann in fear of her life? Was anyone out to get her?
Ann would never complain about anything, and I never heard Ann complain about anything. I hate to speculate on this investigation. I just have to trust that Little Rock police are doing all that they can, and I know that they are. I just hate to speculate, but again, Ann would never complain about anything, and she never did.
Melissa Dunbar-Gates, we thank you.